Let's talk about the Game Awards, because Geoff Keighley's show is officially in the books, with Baldur's Gate 3 winning big. Larian Studios took home Best Performance, Best Community Support, Best RPG, Best Multiplayer Game, Player's Voice, and of course, the biggest award of them all, Game of the Year. Alan Wake 2 also got plenty of recognition, winning Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, and Best Art Direction, while Nintendo's big release for the year, Tears of the Kingdom, was crowned Best Action Adventure Game. But meanwhile, plenty of other big games fell to the wayside, like Starfield, Bethesda's first new IP in 20 years, which was only nominated for Best RPG and lost to Baldur's Gate 3. Meanwhile, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 was nominated in 8 categories and didn't win a single award. But this video isn't meant to be a recap of who took home the gold. This year's Game Awards ceremony blurred the lines more than ever between an award show and an end-of-the-year E3. Through the years, the Game Awards has gradually become less and less about celebrating the last year's top games and more about the announcements and trailer drops that focus on what's coming next. 2023 was an absolutely incredible year for video games in so many ways. Even just looking at the list of nominees for every category paints a pretty good picture of just how many incredible games we've gotten. Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, Hi-Fi Rush, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Alan Wake 2, the list goes on. But beyond the nominees are hundreds of phenomenal games that didn't make the cut. Unfortunately, it seems like developers took a backseat at this year's show to focus more on the marketing machine, regardless of whether or not they actually won. For devs that actually made it to the stage to receive their award and bask in the moment, their speeches were limited to 30 seconds, and if anyone went beyond that, a "please wrap it up" note would pop up on the teleprompter. For people that have poured years of development into creating the games that give this award show purpose, 30 seconds is a ridiculously small amount of time to allow them to say a few words, especially when Larian was paying respects to a member of their team that passed away during development. That's a yikes. In fact, IGN did the math and found that only 18% of the Game Awards 2023 were dedicated to actual awards. Breaking that down even more, if the YouTube video has a 3-hour and 37-minute runtime, that would mean that the Game Awards only allotted roughly 39 minutes to awards and acceptance speeches. And that's if the award was considered big enough to get stage time at all. Sea of Stars winning Best Indie was just announced in passing like a sponsored ad read in a podcast, but meanwhile Geoff Keighley and Gonzo from the Muppets did a skit before Anthony Mackie went on a mini tirade to announce Twisted Metal Season 2 on Peacock. Oh, and he gave an award too. It's already bad enough that developers are barely given any time to thank their teams and share a few words, but it's particularly bad in a year that has packed some devastating punches for the gaming industry as a whole. Widespread layoffs and closures are impacting companies across the industry, even while some teams are reporting record profits. Epic laid off 16% of their staff this year, while Volition Games, the studio behind Saints Row, closed down entirely after 27 years in business. If the Game Awards is meant to be a celebration of games and the people who make them, then it might not be the right venue or even be Geoff Keighley's place to shine a spotlight on the issues that the industry is having. But even if these issues aren't put on blast, the very least that the Game Awards could do would be to give the people behind these games a minute or two to speak their piece and take in the moment. And to his credit, Keighley has agreed with critics that say the music was played too fast for awards winners this year, and that while no one was actually cut off, it is something to address going forward. And Geoff has a tight line to walk between being an award show and getting big publishers and advertisers on board to help make this whole thing possible. With 6.4 million views and almost 200,000 likes on YouTube at the time of this recording, the Game Awards 2023 has already reached 1 million more people than it did last year, and the official numbers aren't even in yet. Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards aren't cheap, and that's a lot of advertising power that companies are probably chomping at the bit to be a part of. Beyond that, there is also some level of responsibility to keep that hype train going, celebrating the old and looking forward to the new. My hope for the Game Awards 2024 is that developers are able to get a bit more time in the spotlight without taking away from the spectacle of what the Game Awards has become. Sam Lake and the Old Gods of Asgard performing the musical number from Alan Wake 2, Hideo Kojima announcing his next project alongside Jordan Peele, Christopher Judge roasting Modern Warfare 3 for being too short. These are all moments that make the Game Awards special. Now it's up to Geoff and the team to take in that feedback, crunch the numbers, and find a way to meet fans and developers in the middle to bring more focus back on the awards for the Game Awards. But I would love to know what you think down below. If you watched this year's Game Awards, what did you like from the show, and what would you change going forward? And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoy what you see or what you hear, hit that subscribe button down below for videos like this every week and gaming news shorts throughout the week to keep you in the know. But I'll catch you guys on the next one.